he was initiated into the Order of the Golden Dawn by its leader, Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers.
Now, there is one last thing worth mentioning about Aleister Crowley and the Cecil Hotel. So do y'all remember that gray alien-type entity, which Aleister encountered in 1918 when he opened an interdimensional portal while performing that Amalantra workings?
Yes.
Yeah. So that alien being's name was Lamb, which is the exact same last name as Eliza. Coincidence?
And it's spelled the exact same way. It's not L-A-M-B. Both of their last names are spelled L-A-M.
Did you all see the portal that opened up in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see that shit? That fire? Oh my God.
It reminds me of that South Park episode where the BP drilled like deeper and like they summoned Cthulhu and all that shit.
We're going to have that Pacific Rim. Those monsters are going to come out of there.
That's okay, dude. I want to be in like a Gundam G-Force type of shit.
Fucking Gaiju.
Like Big O, dude. What's good? What you know about Big O, Aaron?
Speaking of Big O, let's go on to theories. Our first theory is going to be called murder maids. Now, this theory is that the maids were actually the murderers, that they were the ones who were actually pushing people out of the windows or killing them and making it look like a suicide. That either it was one maid who was doing this or it was some type of like murder maid cult that killed guests to sacrifice them to something or someone. I mean, I like to think of it as like a murder maid cult.
Like Merry Maids, but murder maids?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it.
Okay. What about you, Hans? What theory do you got?
This is kind of like a murderer's hangout. Kind of like, you know, the murderer hotel. Yeah, the theory just revolves around the fact there's so many killings that happened at this hotel. I mean, look, we have two infamous serial killers who stayed at the hotel, you know, during the time of their killings. We have the Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short, you know, stayed there, and supposedly 2 days later, you know, she was fucking mutilated and cut in half. You got Elisa Lamb, you know, who somehow went into a water container and sealed herself inside from the outside. And, you know, it's like, this seems like it would be like a well-known place for killers to meet up and kind of like swap tactics and strategies. Be like, you know, this is how I do it. And when I do it this way, this is how it works.
Do you think it's like a safe hangout for murderers? Like they don't murder each other there? Kind of like John Wick's hotel?
Could be that, or this is where you get your wings. You go in, you kill somebody, you know, and you get like initiated into like a brotherhood.
Okay. I like that.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you got, Dan?
This theory is just the possibility that the hotel itself is cursed. You know, like Hans said, the two serial killers and all these suicides happening. And I think even during the Elisa Lamb case, they were talking about like ghosts following her, like paranormal shit happening in this hotel. So a lot of people started believing that this building itself was actually cursed.
Do you think that maybe the chicken coop pet store put a curse on it?
Honestly, I did think of that. Like
Pet Cemetery?
Now, do you think like the guy that actually wanted to sell that like little chicken farm of his, do you think like he wanted to sell it or was he like forced to sell it?
Probably forced to sell it. His arm was probably forced, but I mean, you got to think about it. He got out good. He got out in the perfect time because I guarantee you, if he would have kept that business around during the Great Depression, he would have went under. So I think he went out good. But are you saying that maybe he like put a curse on the land or something?
I mean, it could have been that or the people before him, you know, something.
Maybe he was the one who donated the Gideon Bibles in 1925 and he cursed all those Bibles. And that's what caused it. I don't know.
But I mean, you got to think, like, it kind of reminds me of Aleister Crowley's, or that building that he did in Loch Ness.
Well, yeah. And
his home or whatever. How paranormal shit keeps happening there and all that. You know, maybe it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Now, to go back to the murder maid theory, do you think that maybe the police were doing it instead of the maids, that the police had kind of like some cult that they ran. Maybe they had like a murder thing where they were like, hey, that's our place where we kill people. I don't know. Just trying to hypothesize.
Police, government. That area was known for homeless people. So Montauk fucking experiments, you know?
Maybe.
Maybe it was like the Purge. People just went down there because they knew they could get away with murder.
Okay.
Not to be mean or sound like a total dick, but people staying in that area, you think the police are really going to investigate too much into it? There's a bunch of homeless people. Are they really going to get any information, like trying to interrogate like any of the homeless people? They're not going to give up any information.
No, that's like the sad part too.
Yeah.
And try to take those homeless people to
Court.
to testify. The defense will eat them alive.
Exactly.
Defense, prosecution, everybody's gonna fuck with them. It doesn't matter.